Paul Dunstan Wnek. I was a bosun mate, third class diver, special operations. I joined the Navy Reserve, and about 10 days after leaving high school, I went right into active duty in the Navy. My first duty assignment was go to Brooklyn Navy Yard. I spent 2 weeks there and was home almost every night, and I just couldn't believe that this was the Navy. I was coming home every night. So then all of a sudden, they asked us to fill out these dream sheets. And a dream sheet is what you want to serve on, what you want to do. Well, I put down mine. I wanted to be a cook, and I wanted to travel a lot. I ended up being assigned to the USS Amphion AR-13, which is a tender, giant repair ship, and it spends most of the time sitting at the dock. Obviously, I did not become a cook. I was assigned to deck force, otherwise known as a deck ape. Now, just coming out of high school, I was in awe. I appeared at the ship at 1:30 in the morning from a Trailways bus. I stood at the bow of this ship and looked up and I saw this giant ship in front of me, and I was just in awe of everything that I saw. I was put on ship into a compartment to go to sleep. I woke up in the morning. No one bothered me. Everybody was up, went to work. Nobody knew who I was. I spent 2 days walking around the ship before somebody grabbed a hold of me and says, I better go to personnel and sign in. True story. So once I was on deck force, I learned unbelievably amount. Every day was a day at school, learning everything about the Navy. I didn't know how important bosun mates were. They actually have to learn the entire running of a ship, from steering a ship to doing everything, maintaining the ship. I became a helmsman, certified helmsman, to steer these giant ships around, which I did in many, many occasions. Then I also became a small boat handler. Once they found out I was proficient in boats because I was at the shore, New Jersey shore a lot, I qualified as a coxswain very quickly, and I ended up becoming my boat driver. And then we learned everything on the ship. We did a lot of chipping, painting, and they found out because I was a young high school guy just out of school, I had a steady hand. So they made me do all the cutting in on the paint. The Navy had two famous colors at that time, haze gray and deck gray. And there's a saying, if it didn't move, you saluted it. Like I said, the USS Amphion was a repair ship, a tender. It could actually run a small city. The water, the electricity, we could run an entire city and feed an entire city. When I went on board ship, the first few days, everything was strict. I had to follow orders, learn what I was doing. But in my off time, I would tour the entire ship because it was huge. And they had shops all over the ships. I went into the carpenter shop, I went into the machine shops. I saw in the torpedo section, men were working on torpedoes, which I had no idea how big they were. They had them apart. I was in awe of every department I went and see. I went to the boiler room to see how boilers were working, engine room. Made friends with somebody in each department. And how clean everyone was, including in the engine room, where you think you're going to see a lot of grease and oil, but it was always clean, clean, clean. That was the important thing about the Navy. When we traveled to different ports, whether it was in this country or other countries, and we saw other vessels from other countries, none of them compared to the American Navy. When I first went into the Navy, when I went out to sea on the ship, that was an experience and a half. Seeing how the ship just moving away from the dock, and then going out to sea, and then riding out to sea, going to sleep at night, and waking up in a different country. And going to sleep the next night, you're in a different country. When you're riding it, and then the work that goes on the ship, being on deck force, like I said, that's not your only job, keeping the ship clean. You run the ship, and from steering, from working with all the different men who help to run the ship, how important a bosun's mate is, which I never realized till I went into service. But if the officers die, it's usually a bosun mate that takes over a ship. That's how important that was. And like I said, when we had downtime, we were always in some type of lecture or class, learning. Our Navy pushed the education on people. And you learn. And if you didn't want to sit down with the book, you sat down with a chief or a first class or second class petty officer, and they were giving you verbal instructions on what to do, what not to do. You learn how to do unbelievable things with twine and lines, splicing lines together with marlin spikes and sledgehammers, making the lines or the giant ropes that you see. You know, or learning about rigging, how to rig different things. They would present problems to you. It was just a total educational experience. I loved